give China 40,000 barrels of oil a day? How did poor African countries become a barrier to China's oil security? In this video, let us learn more about it. As we all know, as one of the world's largest oil importers, China's demand for oil security has always attracted much attention. Due to limited domestic oil resources, China needs to import large amounts of oil from overseas. In 2020, China's crude oil imports have reached 542 million tons. When talking about oil resources, many people first think of the Middle East, but in fact some African countries are also rich in oil resources. Among the top 10 importers of Chinese oil is a small African country called Angola, which sells 50% of its oil to China. How did this country become China's oil security barrier? China's oil trade with African countries has been increasing since the 1990s. Since the beginning of the 21st century, the trade volume between China and African countries has exceeded $500 billion, of which oil is a very important trade product. Africa has oil resources throughout the region, especially in countries such as Nigeria, Congo, Brazzaville, and Angola, with very rich reserves and production. The oil resources of these countries are regarded by China as a very important source of imports. Compared with other countries, Africa often has lower procurement costs, which has attracted more and more Chinese companies to carry out oil trade in Africa. The political relations between China and African countries have also had a positive impact on the trade relations between the two sides. Since the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Africa, political relations have been close. The two sides have carried out extensive cooperation in the fields of economy, trade, culture, and other fields. This relationship will also help Chinese companies cooperate with African companies in the field of oil trade. China has established a large number of oil processing plants and storage facilities in Africa, which has provided more convenience for oil trade cooperation between the two countries. While African countries are engaging in oil trade with China, they also have some challenges to face. For example, during the outbreak of the epidemic, the economy in Africa was affected to a certain extent, and oil demand also dropped somewhat. This has brought certain challenges to China's oil trading business. In addition, factors such as political instability in African countries may also cause certain disruptions to oil trade. But generally speaking, African countries have become an important source of China's oil imports, which has important strategic significance for the economic and trade relations between the two sides. Many people have never heard of Angola, but in fact, this seemingly inconspicuous country is the country most likely to become the richest man in Africa. Angola is located in southwest Africa, with a total area of 1,246,700 square kilometers and a total population of 33.3 million people. It was once occupied by Portugal and became a colony, and later even became a province of Portugal. After many years of liberation movement, it finally succeeded and gained independence in 1975. After independence, Angola did not begin stable development, but began a long-term civil war. It was not until 2002 that the 27-year civil war finally ended. After the war ended, Angola began to seek development and wanted to monetize its rich domestic oil, natural gas, and other mineral resources. However, due to long-term war consumption and equipment problems, Angola simply does not have the ability to extract oil from the ground. You must know that the construction of Angola's first batch of schools, hospitals, water supply, and power supply equipment was only completed in 2007 with the help of China. It can be seen that although Angola was in dire straits at that time, this scarred country was unable to develop at all. At this time, the United States appeared. The United States provided Angola with advanced oil extraction equipment, and at the same time, a large amount of the extracted oil was sold to the United States. At this time, some people may ask, after the United States has been mining in Angola for so many years, doesn't Angola have mastered the technology? In fact, this is not surprising. The United States has always had a strong blockade on technology, so the Angolan people have no chance to access the core parts of oil extraction. So although Angola has indeed made a lot of money in the past few years, the current situation in the country has hardly changed. The people's life was still difficult and the country was still backward. At this time, China appeared. The emergence of China has not only made Angola richer, it has also made them stronger. According to relevant statistics, China provided Angola with loans of $20 billion from 2002 to 2015. This money also played a key role in Angola's subsequent development. The amazing thing about the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Angola is that China does not need Angola to repay a large part of the money. They only need to provide China with 10,000 barrels of crude oil per year for the next 17 years to repay their debt. Later, due to changes in the oil price situation, it changed from the original 10,000 barrels to the later 40,000 barrels. Until 2018, Angola's oil exports to China had reached 47 million tons, which is 50% of Angola's total annual exports. China has not only provided financial help to Angola, but has also been generous in technology. Although Angola has made a lot of money from oil, its domestic infrastructure equipment is still very backward. However, due to technical problems, Angola is helpless. But since Angola and China established diplomatic relations, China has also helped Angola build domestic infrastructure. For example, the Benguela Railway and the Mochamedes Railway were built with the assistance of China. These two railways have completely realized the African version of the Two Oceans Railway. In addition to infrastructure such as railways, China has also helped Angola build ports, thermal power, hydropower stations and related power distribution facilities. The most important thing is the United States' strict defense oil refining technology. China has also taught the Angolan people to a large extent. You must know that these technologies are the basis for Angola to make money. This is completely equivalent to China giving them money-making technology. Perhaps it is precisely because of this that Africa, a country that is not powerful, eventually became China's oil security barrier. From this point of view, the current cooperation between China and Angola is inseparable from mutual dedication and trust. Angola has found a stable oil exporter, driving the domestic economy, while China has found a stable oil supplier, ensuring China's demand. Through oil trade cooperation between China and Angola, we can see that in its energy strategy in Africa, China has adopted a variety of methods to ensure the security and stability of its energy supply. First, China works with African countries to develop oil and natural gas resources. Over the past few years, many joint oil exploration and development projects have been established between China and Africa. These projects not only mean more job opportunities and economic development for Africa, but also provide China with more oil and natural gas resources. China has adopted a diversified approach to energy procurement in Africa. Compared with other energy importing countries, China not only focuses on oil and natural gas resources, but also actively develops renewable energy in Africa. In May this year, China and the African Union signed an agreement, which plans to increase the scale of China-Africa cooperation in the field of renewable energy to more than 10 gigawatts by 2030. China has built many large-scale energy infrastructure in Africa, such as natural gas and hydrogen production plants, oil pipelines, and hydroelectric power stations. China also plays an important role in the construction of African energy internet and energy exchanges. The construction and development of these facilities will help Africa achieve energy self-sufficiency and diversify supply. Although some people criticize China's commercial policies in Africa as insufficiently transparent and conscientious, what cannot be forgotten is that cooperation based on mutual benefit can bring about real win-win results. Africa's strategic positioning in China's oil security strategy should not be underestimated. This barrier should be used to promote the establishment of long-term, healthy and stable cooperative relations between China and Africa in the energy field. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more great content. See you next time.